Good afternoon, everybody. Glad you guys could join us this Wednesday afternoon. I hope your summer is going well for everyone that's on the webinar that can hear me. This is Adam Phillips. I'm the president of American Business Systems, and glad you guys were able to be here today. Speaking of hearing me okay, I would like to go ahead and just start by making sure that I'm coming through loud and clear. If you guys look over there on the right side of your GoToWebinar control panel, you should see a little button where you can raise a hand to ask a question. If you can hear me okay right now, would you just click that and raise your hand and then click it again to put your hand down? Let's see. Can anyone hear me? I don't see any hands being raised. Okay, there we go. There we go. Andre raised his hand. Ron, okay, thanks. Good. Glad you guys can hear me all right. Well, now that we got that out of the way, let's see if I've got control of the screen here. I think I do. All right, so as I said, I'm Adam Phillips. I'm president of American Business Systems. And before we get started, I'd like to just briefly talk a little bit about different ways to connect with us and follow us through some of the social media channels that are out there these days. If any of you guys have got a Twitter account, I would encourage you to follow us if you would like. You can follow us on Twitter at it's at AB Systems. That's our Twitter handle. You can see our Twitter feed on our main website, absystems.com, but that's if you go to the Twitter website and put us in there, you can follow us from there as well. You'll get notifications on webinars. You'll also get lots of information on different things that are going on in the industry, the healthcare industry, as well as miscellaneous marketing and sales tools that are beneficial that we pass on to people that we run across. So you're welcome to do that. We also have a wealth of information that we put on our blog here, and I'm going to see if I can get to the next page. There we go. There's a little bit of a delay there. If you guys haven't seen this page, it's absystems.com/blog. That is where you'll find all of our archived webinars, lots of industry news, marketing information. Patrick, our founder, actually does a video blog every once in a while and posts on there. So a lot of good stuff there too, a lot of updated content on that particular part. If you just go to the main website without the /blog part, it's absystems.com, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So for those of you who aren't really familiar, maybe this is your first webinar that you've been on. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we get started, I wanted to mention one more thing about the questions. You guys are welcome to start asking questions about this opportunity or the industry or anything you would like. Again, going back to your GoToWebinar control panel, you will see there's a little place towards the bottom where you can actually type in a question and send it to us. And you're welcome to do that at any time. And as we're going through the webinar today, we will start answering your questions, and hopefully we can get to all of them. But that's how you can do that, is type a question in there. So let's go back to who is American Business Systems. Well, we are a privately held, family-owned and operated business. My parents actually started American Business Systems back in 1994 is when we formed. And since then, we have helped many, many different people. Hundreds and hundreds of people all over the country have gone through our program and have built a successful medical billing business, usually working from home, as you can see in these pictures. We do have licensees that end up getting office space because they've got so much clients and so much revenue that they can afford it, honestly. But a lot of licensees, even the ones that are making very high six-figure incomes, still just work from home, and there's not really much of a need to have any retail space or anything like that, because even when they get to the point where they've got people helping them with data entry or anything like that, it can all be done remotely over the web, and everything can be managed from your home. So that's kind of how we do it. This is the website I was talking about. If you haven't seen this, it's absystems.com. And when you go there, you'll get a really good high-level overview of what this is all about. What is included in the package, how much does it cost, how do you get clients, how much money can you make, and how do you get started. If that is not enough and you would actually like to dig a little bit deeper, we would highly encourage you to sign up for our virtual brochure and get access to that. You can do that by clicking on this orange button up here, Request More Info, or this Get Started Here button. And what you'll do is you'll fill out just a tiny little form that gives you access to our virtual brochure. It looks similar to our website, but it's actually got a lot more content in there. So as you can see, there's several sections of the brochure up here at the top, and each one of these sections has 8 or 9 slides in that section. And so there's a lot of content. There's videos, testimonials, there's references you can call, software demos, all kinds of things in there to go through to help you in your due diligence and making a decision on if ABS is right for you or not. We are also listed with the Fort Worth Better Business Bureau. If you go to the Fort Worth listing or Fort Worth section of their site, look us up. We've actually got the highest rating possible with them. We've been a member for many, many years, and we've got an A+ with them. And we're pretty proud of that. This is a picture of our offices here in Keller. Now, we don't own this entire building. We're in a section of this building, but Keller is a little suburb of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And if any of you would ever like to come visit, you're more than welcome to do that. Just give us a call. We can schedule a visit. You can meet with me. You can meet with Patrick, Eric, anybody that you'd like to meet with, and we can schedule that. We also are very proud of the fact that we are the only company of our kind that does a live training workshop that focuses on helping people get clients and helping people start generating revenue as quickly as possible. Our next training workshop that we're having is August 5th through 9th. So we've got a few weeks. I guess we've got all of July, and then it's at the 1st of August. So if this is something that you're planning on doing, you want to try to plan on attending our training in Dallas, Texas is where we do that. It's August 5th through the 9th. So with that, I would like to go ahead and introduce Eric Auger. He's our Director of Research and Development. He's got a lot of good information he's going to share with you guys today. Eric, you there?
I am. Good to have everybody here, and thanks, Adam. I think we've got a lot of information we're going to try to get covered here today. Well, first of all, what we're going to do, I'm going to see if I've got control here. What we're going to do today, along with Adam and myself, we're going to actually talk about what our coaching does and how it's very exclusive and how it begins with our live week-long training. And Adam, I mean, you know as well as I do, we're right in the middle of training this week, and heard some reports from Patrick and from some others there that this is the training class is just going exceptionally well. Got a great group of people in there, and hopefully those that are on the call today can certainly ask us any questions about live training, because we're going to be talking about that. So let me remind everybody that what Adam did mention earlier about asking us some questions. We do want you to ask those questions. I think Adam mentioned earlier there's only a few companies out here that do webinars and do anything live training and live webinars like what we do. And folks, this is your opportunity to really engage with us on a live session here and be able to ask some of these questions. So anybody that has any questions, feel free to start typing those in, and Adam and I will address those. But let's talk a little bit about our week here, Adam, and why don't you maybe talk a little bit how Patrick has built this training around not you and I teaching or even Patrick teaching classes, but a little bit about our instructors here.
Yeah, sure. We actually decided many years ago that it really makes a lot more sense to have people that are in the trenches, so to speak, out there running their own billing businesses, and they know exactly, what marketing methods work, which ones don't, and they've built a successful billing business to the point where they are able to help other people. And so that's exactly what we've done. And we have found these two wonderful ladies that have been helping us with our training the past several years. Bonnie Preston is from Colorado. Cynthia Anderson is from Arizona, and they are both licensees of American Business Systems, just like some of you will be at some point.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's. Go ahead, Eric. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to jump in there and just say, it's one thing where us here at what we call corporate, and you and I have both been to some corporate trainings, and most corporate trainings are pretty good, and But again, the decision to use our licensees as the head instructors basically is a great help because, again, like Adam's saying, these are the people that have not only been through the training, actually, they've been through what you're going through right now. Everybody that's on the call today and that will listen to the webinar later on, these two ladies were on our webinars. So they know from the beginning to where they are today, even up through the instructions. So we might even want to make mention, Adam, that if people want to call and talk with these people, but we also have a list of other licensees, even though that they're not instructors. Why don't you kind of talk about how, if those people that are on the call today or others that want to talk with other licensees, because again, that's where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, that's true. And we actually have, like I mentioned in that virtual brochure, we have some licensees that have volunteered to take phone calls from people sprinkled throughout that brochure as you're going through it. But in addition to that, I mean, we've got dozens and dozens of very successful people that would be more than happy to talk with people that are looking into this business. So yeah, we could certainly do that.
Yeah, and again, these instructors, both Bonnie and Cynthia, again, have not only been where you are as an attendee in these go-to webinars that we're having right now, but they've gone through the process of going through all the psychological, is this the right business for me, and all this. So these people are here to help you. And then when you do choose to become a licensee of ABS, what better way of having folks that have been through there, having the heartaches of trying to get a client, finally getting a client, getting everything set up. We want those folks to instruct you. And here is a picture of them, I think out of last class, of them going through, and you can see how they're interactive. We have the table set up here in training. So these ladies are interactive. They work with you, and as we'll kind of go through some more of these pictures here on here, not only we have that, but then sometimes we get Patrick up there teaching too. And Adam, why don't you talk a little bit about Patrick and some of his background and really why some of his teaching is sometimes just as important as some of these licensees?
Well, obviously, he's the founder of the company, and he's my dad, so I'm biased. But
right,
he's been around for a long time. He's been in business for a long time, and he's an expert marketer. And it's funny because a lot of people don't realize how hands-on he is with the live training. I mean, he actually has been known to show up and do a session or two in the class, and people are just like, they can't even believe that the founder of the company would take time out of his day to come and do that. And
right.
That's how much he, wants people to succeed. I mean, that's why he does what he does, and that's why we do what we do, is because we love seeing people's lives being changed. I mean, we love hearing the stories about people doubling and tripling their income. I mean, that's what this is all about. And so he wants people to have the best experience that they could possibly have coming to this week of training, and so that's why he does that.
Well, I know that you're biased because of your dad. Your family and your dad, and I've been around a lot of folks that have been in business, and he is one of those few guys out there that really is interested in others. And folks, if you haven't had a chance to even talk with Patrick, I mean, there's times where if you want to talk directly with him, get with us. We'll get that scheduled with you. If you've got some questions you'd like to ask directly to Patrick, he'd be more than happy to take your call. So, folks, we're all here really wanting to help in your success. Now, we're going to kind of talk a little bit about some of the things that you're going to learn in training, and some of the things that that we deal with, and what the folks that are going through training this week are going through. A lot of people, Adam, I know that people ask you, and because you and I are basically on the front lines talking with folks, a lot of people ask us. Matter of fact, I had a gentleman just yesterday ask me, I don't know anything about medical billing. How can I become successful? And let's talk a little bit about some of the things that they learned there, very specifically about terminology. You want to kind of lead on that one for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the session that we have in the beginning of the training on Monday, actually, we get right to kind of the meat of the medical billing 101 type stuff. And, we probably spend, I don't know, How much would you say on that side of things in the class?
Probably 30-40%. If 40%, that would be a lot. I would
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I mean, the deal is we show you how to use the software, but it's very, very user-friendly, and you don't have to know quite as much about all the terminology and coding and things as you might think. But, of course, we do cover that in the class, and, there's a lot of ongoing, training after the fact that we're going to talk about a little bit later where you can learn more about the intricacies of terminology and how to do that. But yeah, by the end of Monday in the class, you've already filed claims and you're already using the system. So I mean,
absolutely.
And these are people that have no medical background whatsoever.
Right, and then we kind of step you through about how you get those documents from the doctors, and really more importantly, how you get paid. So we really take you from start to finish all the way through, and again, these are some of the topics, as you'll see here, of what is covered in the live training. And what we tell you when you come to training is to come in and get ready, because it's really trying to drink like from a fire hydrant. From as you can see here, but we really do take you over through the overview of the medical billing and really iClaim and the EMRX system, and you do get some hands-on training, as you'll see here in just a moment. But not only that, you get a full student manual going over each and every section of those areas. So you can see there that basically you're getting the PowerPoint presentation right along there, so you can kind of take notes. And I think more importantly, besides just taking notes, you can see here that our learning is very interactive. So it's not that you're just sitting there getting lectured to. Adam, I know both of you and I have been up there where we've been engaged in working with people on certain, whether we call them labs or workout breakout sections, where we're actually going through that. And you can see this one gentleman here literally kind of going through some of the presentations. So, get ready, roll up your sleeves, because that's what we're really dealing with here is, making sure that you get everything. And then, as Adam said, here is that hands-on learning as you're getting on that first day of really how to put things into the system. And so we'll show you how to create a patient chart and go through all of that. But again, that is only a portion of getting into the medical billing business. Again, earlier I was talking with a lady not too long ago about she already owns a medical billing company and has software, but she says, I have no clients. And so while we were trying to talk about the percentage of how much time we spend up on the front end of medical technology and or the terminology in that, Adam, let's talk about the other half of what we do spend on, and that is really helping them get clients.
Yeah, that's really, in our years of doing this, we have figured out, and it really didn't take a long time to figure out, that there's a lot of companies that teach the terminology and the basics of medical billing and the coding and the how to use the software and stuff like that. And that's all very good information, but there's a lot of people that have gone through those courses and different online classes and things, and they're sitting at home going, okay, great, I don't have any clients, so what do I do now? So we've really the focus of the live training is showing you the quickest path to take to start generating revenue and making a return on your investment and then some.
Right. And then, Adam, I know this is one of those areas where we're talking about the students themselves from the training, and you actually head this portion of it up here. Talk to the folks here about what these people are actually saying, because again, even though this is taken at the last part of training, we hear some great testimonials about training. So where can they find these videos again, so that we can hopefully direct folks to that this afternoon?
Sure. So we have a lot of testimonials from training that's been posted on our YouTube page, and also the blog page that I mentioned previously. They're archived on that page as well. So absystems.com/blog, or you can go to youtube.com/WHYABS. But either way, what I hear time and time again from people, all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different business backgrounds. The people that go through these classes, it's funny because every single class you'll have stay-at-home moms, you'll have guys in three-piece suits that were from the corporate world. You'll have people that were previous or current franchise owners that maybe owned other businesses and sold them or getting into something else. A lot of husband and wife teams where one may be better at the marketing, the other one may be better at the administrative side. But time and time again, when I get the feedback and do these videos, people just say, I showed up on Monday not really knowing what to expect or thinking it was going to be one thing, and I found out that it was much, much more than what I thought it was, and there's actually many, many more opportunities to make money than what I originally thought. So everyone leaves the class, super excited, and they've got a clear plan of action for when they get back home.
Yeah, so we want you to and actually encourage you to go out there not only to talk with other licensees, but go listen to some of these because they really talk about, again, that experience of learning, and that's really where it all comes to play here. So now going into some of the other things. Now, I know that both you and I, Adam, we get this question asked quite a bit. Okay, so what happens after training? And some of the things that we need to talk to people about, what I want to share with them is that we can kind of help you coach on setting up and running your new company. And although that somewhat is limited to what we can do, we do have an attorney who is actually a licensee also herself that can help folks that are wanting to set up their business. And we go through a portion of the training that goes through business basics of setting up LLCs and that, but that's not our forte. We do have someone, and Patrick does bring someone in to help every licensee with that. So again, I'm going to kind of bounce that back over to you, Adam, and maybe you can talk a little bit about Judy and how she comes in and helps our new licensees get this kind of stuff set up.
Well, we bring her in, during the live training at a certain point, and she's an expert in this. We're not, but she's an expert in different ways to set up your business, and so she'll just talk about the pros and cons of doing it, corporation versus LLC versus partnership, that sort of thing. We also have a session on kind of brainstorming and naming your business, which by the way, most licensees don't do any type of business setup before they come to the class. In fact, I would encourage people not to register a business name unless you just really are sold on what you already know what you're going to do. Because a lot of people, what they do is they register a business name, and then they come to the class when we do this brainstorming session, and they realize that they could have picked a better name. So,
right.
So most people don't really have any of this stuff done beforehand, and so we help them get it done. And you can actually schedule some time with Judy after hours to kind of do a one-on-one with her to get it all squared away.
Sure.
And I believe she offers a discounted rate for her fees to get it all set up. So.
Absolutely. So for any ABS licensees, she does offer a very significant discount of having an attorney help you get everything set up. Cindy's just typed in a question here, and she's asking, what is an LLC? And I think sometimes we take it for granted that we have everybody understanding what that is.
Yeah.
But an LLC is what's called a limited liability company. And one of the reasons what you would want to set up a limited liability company or a corporation is so that you're not doing your business as a sole proprietor. And again, not trying to get into the why one is more advantageous than another. You certainly don't want to do business just as yourself. So you certainly want to be able to set up some type of that. And Judy's available even before she gets here, or before you get here to training, to talk with her. So if you want to talk with her or set that up with us, that we can get you going, we'll certainly get that whole business portion of it set up. And again, what Adam said, you want to make sure that when you name your business, that it's really what you want. So that's why we kind of encourage you to kind of wait till you get here. So now we're going to get into how we coach you on getting clients. So now we've kind of taken you from that whole concept of that week-long live training to business setup. And now really here's where the rubber meets the road. So how do we help you get those clients? So one of the things that we're going to help you with is setting up your website. Now we're going to kind of start talking about really some marketing things, And again, I'm going to kind of refer back over to Adam and let Adam talk a little bit about some of these websites that we can help you get set up as part of your business package. Adam, why don't you go ahead and take this portion of it?
Yeah, we include this as part of your package at no cost to you. And so as you can see by some of these images here, we have got all of the copy already written for all of the services for your site. And so essentially we're just taking your name, your logo, your phone number, and we're putting it on that site for you, and we're getting that up on the internet for you. So it's, you know, we've got dozens of different color choices and graphic choices and that sort of thing.
Hey, Adam, there's a question that's coming here from John. John's asking, what if he wants to set up his own website? Can he use the same copy context?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're very open to that, using the content. So the answer is yes. I mean, we can certainly supply you with the files to create your own site. Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, and that's what some licensees do, is that they'll take the copy, because I think from your experience as well as mine, I think getting the copy to your website, or what, and again, we may be talking in some code here for some folks, this is what's the actual text that goes inside your website, what's being said about your business. We've taken and we've done the heavy lifting there, and so that's what we want you, if you want to, you can take that text and implant it into your own website. But then we know, Adam, that there are some licensees who are successful, and when we say successful, they're, you know, they've got clients and they're still using the templated type of websites that we have here. So, folks, they both work, but in today's market and in today's world, you certainly want to be able to have a website. Again, there's another question here from Cindy. She goes, is that website part of the package, or is it an additional fee? You want to talk, I know you just mentioned that it is part of the package, but there is, they do need to set up their own website name that's outside of us delivering that website. You want to explain that a little bit too?
Yeah, you get the template included for free. The only thing that you do need to pay for is you need to pay for the purchase of your domain name and also hosting. But we have a site that we recommend for hosting called bluehost.com, and it's very reasonable. It's like $95 for a year, and that includes email accounts as well. So I don't want to get too technical on you, but that's what the hosting costs. And then GoDaddy, I think you can get a domain name through GoDaddy for what, $12 or something. I mean, it's
very, very, very inexpensive. So again, this is what some of these websites look like, and again, we're always trying to drive business to you. And again, we're here to help you get that set up all along the way. Then we've got this everything about the email marketing. Oh, let me go back one screen here to make sure I've got everything here. And again, since Adam's really into the social marketing and everything, I'm going to kind of let him take this and run with it a little bit. But folks, again, we're in a new world of marketing, how things market. Yes, there are some direct mail pieces, and certainly that still works today. We don't rely heavily upon that. It is used, and I'll talk about how it works, and even with our R&D department, how we actually use direct marketing like that. But Adam, let's talk a little bit about, again, not only email marketing, but again, your background in all the social media marketing too, as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I run all the social outlets here for ABS and Facebook and Twitter and all that, and really the key thing in any business is proper follow-up. When you're trying to offer a service, and it's really a business to business is what you're offering. You're offering services to doctors. So the key to getting business is proper follow-up, and we're going to go into this a little bit later in the webinar, but there's several things that you do, several steps that you take up front, in doing a practice analysis and doing a software demo and then coming up with a proposal. But once you've done all that, if you're not following up with the doctor or the office manager or whoever you were talking with, if you're not on a consistent basis reaching out to them, you're not going to get business. It's going to be very difficult to get business that way if you don't do that. And so the best way to do it, of course, is through automated systems that automatically send out emails and automatically send out postcards and different things like that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But that's what this is all about, and this is something that we will teach you how to do properly in the live training when you come. We'll show you all the different tools and templates for creating emails that you can send out, newsletters, all different kinds of things.
Yeah, and I know that both you and I, again, and including with Jason and Alicia and Dirk and all of us here, we get a lot of questions. How am I going to market to people? And these are the ways that we're showing you right now of what we do and what we teach you. We do go over this in class. A lot of stuff is continually being developed. That's why we have a research and development department to really work on those things that are going to help you. And what we have found that works best with any type of marketing is basically how we educate your doctors through you, how we educate those doctors with educational materials. So again, step by step, a lot of what is taking place this week in live training is both Bonnie and Cynthia going through and teaching those folks how to break the mold of the old marketing style of, hey, do you want to buy from me? More along the lines of, let me educate you. And so that's where we begin. Patrick wrote this book along with a CPA friend of his, Brian Malatesta, on Cash Crunch to Cash Flow. Now, this book you're going to receive in your business package as being a licensee. So this is part of your marketing. And it's certainly a book that we recommend you to read because, again, this is really the textbook of really what's going on with doctors. It really gets down to the question and helping you answer the question, why would a doctor even use you than any other medical billing company that's out there? Or why doesn't the doctor just do billing in his own office? Those questions are answered through this book, but this book is written in a third-party manner in which there's nothing about American business systems in here. There's nothing about how to reach us or for ABS to do billing. This is really educating the doctor of plugging those holes where it seems to be just seeping through their cash, and it's just disappearing into thin air. And so we talk about those things. So we want you to use this book to educate your doctor. So again, this is a marketing piece that is used in your marketing venture of when you're going out there to market. Now, one of the things that we do in training is that we kind of step you through and actually use those little Post-it notes to mark in your book so that you'll know how to do that, and then tell the doctor or the office manager, hey, I want to give you a book, but here's a very specific chapter I want you to read upon. So these are the things that we're wanting to help you with. And then I tell you, one of the great things of what Adam's doing on the front end for you, I mean, folks, you don't realize how much education that you're actually getting before you're ever in a licensee. Adam, didn't you just tweet out an article just the other day about how doctors were leaving their old EMR systems and trying to find even a better EMR system? Didn't you kind of run across something like that here recently?
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah, and so those tweets are going out. So again, I want to encourage everybody that's on the call, that's on here today, and those that will listen to it a little bit later, get on our tweets, because the only way that you're going to become a successful licensee is really what you do before you become a licensee. And here is where you're going to learn and educate yourself on these things. And I want to kind of, I know this is not in the webinar right now, but I want to address this. And Adam and I, and again, Jason and Dirk and Alicia, we want to make sure as you're talking with us, we get a lot of this, Adam, about people wanting to maybe kind of go pre-market a little bit. And I know that we kind of talk about that quite often. We don't want you to go pre-market because you're not being educated enough, and we want you to kind of just take it easy before you go out there, because if you get out there and the doctor starts asking you some questions, you don't know how to answer them, then you may end up burning a lead. But in the meantime, though, there is still plenty of things that you can educate yourself on, especially why doctors should outsource their billing. And again, being up on these webinars that we do weekly, with even Patrick being on here, we're always educating you. You should be taking notes, getting ready to become a licensee. Then let's talk a little bit about this automatic drip marketing that's being used, again, with a little bit of the direct marketing, so should we say. Now, Adam talked a little bit about the social networkings, whether you're going to use a Twitter account, you can use Facebook, you can use the automated email systems that go out. But again, sometimes just the old-fashioned way of sending out postcards and everything like that, it still works. And what it does, it's going to create value over the lifetime of your client. I love what Patrick talks about when he's discussing this either on a webinar or at training. You want to stay at the top of the mind of your potential clients. And Adam, you know as well as I do, that's kind of how the R&D department actually got their first client, was because we had kind of gone out there, we met with a doctor, they said no, but we put them on our automatic drip marketing, and then lo and behold, 3 or 4 months later, they called us up and said, hey, are you guys still available to do our billing? I mean, you remember that. I mean, you want to comment on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times a no just means not right now, you know. So that's exactly what happened is, you know, when you stay in touch with the doctor, you're going to be top of mind when something happens, like say a doctor's biller quits or their software goes kaput, or you know who knows. They're gonna go, okay, who do we call? What do we do? And whatever company has been staying the most in touch with them and also educating them on an ongoing basis about different things, that's who they're going to think of. And that's exactly what happened. And just to talk a little bit about this particular drip marketing that we do, it's automatic, and this is the part that I was telling you about. If you look at the postcards that actually sends out the physical cards and reminders and different things, and this is what some of them look like. Just so you know, this is just like every other product we have. It's completely cloud-based, and so all you're doing is, and these templates are ready to go, so all you're doing is you're going to a secure website, you're putting in the patient's name and information, and you're clicking a button, and you're done. And they get put on an automated campaign, and you can, of course, adjust it however you see fit or however the doctor wants, but it's ready to go. And they'll get they'll get a postcard every couple of months or every month or however you want to do it. And you don't even have to think about it. It's just automatic.
Exactly. And I tell you, this probably has gotten more clients for our licensees than any other type of system we have out there, because number one, Patrick and the rest of the team not only has spent the time and the effort but the money to generate this, and this is what you get as an included here at American Business Systems. It's hard to grasp a lot what you get here at ABS by talking with just us over the telephone and going through the website, but that's why we do these webinars, and we want you to see some of the quality of stuff that you're getting here, and like Adam said, being at the top of the mind. Now, I'm going to share something with you that Adam and I just learned just last week, and you want to be at the top of the mind of your doctors right now. Our system, our cloud-based iClaim and EMRX system, which EMR stands for Electronic Medical Records, we've just been notified that we just cleared our Stage 2 meaningful use clearance for our EMR system. Now, to a lot of you probably just said, you just spoke in Greek. I have no idea what you're talking about. But let me tell you what that means to you. That means that we are one of the top 5 companies in the United States right now that has an EMR system or electronic medical record system that's going to take it into the future. There's a lot of electronic medical record systems out there that are going to go by the wayside, and what you want to be in that position that when that occurs to that doctor, who are they going to turn to? And they're going to turn to you and to one of the only companies in America that can actually supply that for them. So that is very, very, very important for you to be able to grasp.
That's a good segue into this slide here. I mean, it's just driving home the fact that we do so much more than just billing, so much more than just insurance claim filing. When you partner with American Business Systems, you're able to offer an entire suite of products, including the electronic medical records like what you were talking about. And these are what some of the marketing materials look like for these services. But really, we teach our licensees to consider themselves and teach their doctors that they are the one-stop shop for basically anything that a doctor needs outside of practicing medicine. And if they ask you, if a doctor asks you if you can do something for them, you should say yes. And then you should call us up and say, what in the heck are they talking about? How do I do this? We've had licensees do that before with certain things. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we kind of go back to an old story that your dad's told about Lou McKendall when he says, I think he was asked a long time ago when Lou was a licensee from years back, was asked by the doctor, can you do credentialing? And Lou just says, oh, absolutely, we do credentialing. And the next thing we know, we get a call from him and says, tell me we do credentialing. So,
yeah, he was like, what the heck is credentialing?
Right. So,
just for those of you that don't know, credentialing is what?
It's getting the doctor set up for receiving payments from insurance companies. It's proven that they're a doctor to the insurance companies. That's basically
like there's a whole bunch of paperwork that has to be filled out, and it's become an industry in itself. So that's what credentialing is, and it's a pain for the doctors, and so we've got a solution for that as well. Even though it's not one of our main product offerings, we've got licensees that are experts in credentialing. So
absolutely. And again, one of the last segments here in this area of educating doctors is, again, why medical providers are outsourcing their billing. And this is a video DVD series of what we were able to put together with other doctors who are actually, so they're going to hear their own peers say why, that's the reasons why they've outsourced their billing to a medical billing company, and very specifically the ABS billing companies. Andre's asking a question here, what are the main targets? Doctors that do billing in-house or doctors that have already outsourced but are not satisfied with the service and the price that they have. So, I'm not real sure if I understand that question too terribly much, but Adam, let's try to address it from how we see it. I know that you and I have kind of talked about that if a doctor's doing billing in-house, they're basically running two businesses. They're running a medical billing practice and then a medical billing company. So let's talk a little bit about that and how we can help these folks target those doctors.
Well, I mean, what I usually say when I get this question, and I get it a lot, is you're able to target almost any type of provider, whether they're outsourcing or whether they're doing their billing in-house. But speaking specifically to the doctors that are trying to maintain their billing in their office, 9 times out of 10, they're spending a heck of a lot of money on staff, software, hardware, IT guys, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of costs going into trying to file those insurance claims and follow up on them. So their costs are sky high compared to outsourcing. Our licensees, when they do the practice analysis that we'll talk a little bit about here in a minute, when they do that practice analysis, almost always they find areas where doctors are spending too much time or too much money or both. And they're able to show them and demonstrate to them that outsourcing is going to be able to save them time and save them money. Now, that being said, even doctors that are outsourcing already, a lot of them are outsourcing to billing companies that have older technology, like the older CD-based software. It's not cloud-based like ours, and so it's much more difficult for them to see exactly what's going on with their claims and their money. They can't go online and get a real-time report, 24/7 like you can with our system, and they're frustrated with that. Sometimes they're frustrated with just poor customer service. Another thing they're frustrated with is a lot of billing companies are just one-trick ponies. All they do is billing, and they don't have all of the other products and solutions like what we have. So even if a doctor tells you they're already outsourcing, there still is a potential for you to get business from there. But that's a great question, Andre. We've got another question here from Gallery. Can outsourcing be done internationally? The only way that I can answer that is answer it by saying our system is completely cloud-based, and so that means it's accessible anywhere in the world with an internet connection. So anywhere that you're in the world with an internet connection, you can use the system and you can work. You can do the work. Now, our program is meant for doctors. Your clients can only be doctors that are in the U.S. healthcare system. But aside from that, the work can be done anywhere in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Real quickly, let's kind of get back on this because we are want to try to cover as much as we can in here, and we'll kind of come back to some of these questions. One of the other things that you get from us outside of, again, try to help you succeed is, again, through marketing, through some educational events. And again, some of those educational events, what this does for you, it really positions you as the trusted advisor. And really that's what we want you to be able to become, is that person that looks to be the subject matter expert here. Kind of going through these, making sure I really get all these buttons up here at one time. There we go. And that is, making sure that, and it truly is not a sales pitch. Again, I think a lot of people come into this with some notion of, do I have to sell anything? Folks, once you truly understand what you're able to do for that particular doctor, you'll find it's no more a sales pitch, but it's more educating the doctor. And again, these are some of the things that we teach you in class. That's why we encourage you, and again, why we feel like we're pretty exclusive on having one of the only companies out there that does actually a live training, because we want the whole week that we're doing is educating you so that you turn around and educate the doctors out there. We have suggested topics for every one of your events. We actually can help you choose the location, how to joint venture with other folks here, and then how to get crowds to your events. How do you actually do that? And so what we do is teach you, and we've got PowerPoint presentations already built for you to actually make these presentations to a live group. We can sometimes, if you want to partner with another licensee that might be somewhat in your area, that's also available, or talk with one of us, or we can always work out something to help out with that. Then more importantly, I think one of the best things, Adam, that we've done here lately in helping our licensees get their clients as quickly as possible is getting them set up on these live demos. I want you to kind of take a little bit about this, and I've got that screenshot up here. Why don't you talk about how we actually do the demos for our licensees?
Yeah, this is actually pretty invaluable, and I think you might have a little more insight on this. But this is a big integral part of the initial process of getting doctors signed up as a client. We start with the educational marketing. If you guys aren't aware, that's what gets business these days: education, education, education. And this is not just the healthcare industry. I mean, it's any industry. If you are being educated by someone, and someone is providing you with things that are going to help you in your business, whether you give them any money or not, that builds a level of trust that can't be beat. And you become an expert in their eyes, and you become trusted. And that's what we show you how to do. With our help, you're going to be perceived as the expert in the industry and the person that is helping to educate the doctors on different areas of their business. But anyway, back to the demos. What we do is we actually will, we don't have the resources to physically fly someone to every state in the country, but we use we use what we're using now, GoToMeeting. We do our webinars on GoToWebinar. And so what we do is after you do an initial practice analysis for a doctor that we talked about, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to set up a demo with a member of our staff. And so what we do is we get someone on a GoToMeeting, and you're going to be on the call, preferably at the doctor's office, but you don't really have to do anything. You're just there in presence. We take over and we do the demo based on what we see in the practice analysis, and we show them every aspect of the billing platform as well as the electronic medical records platform. We answer all their technical questions on your behalf. And so what we're doing is we're building your credibility. The doctors see that you're a part of a large network. They see that you've got these experts behind you doing a lot of the work for you, and it's just a win-win for everybody. And the demos have been going really, really well. Right, Eric?
Yeah, absolutely. And I bet you we're probably doing, I know we're doing a webinar at least once a day, or I'm sorry, a demo once a day for our licensees currently. And we have right now at least 5 people that can do these demos. So we want you as a brand new licensee to lean upon us. And it is hard to put a value on this because, you know, what is one client worth to you? So when we talk about our pricing being where it is, you know, it's hard for us to again say, well, gosh, how do you price that out? Well, we don't, because again, folks, we are just as much as interested in you getting a client, or we're interested in you getting a client as you are. And so, and again, what Patrick has done in the support mechanisms that he's put together here at ABS is to help you get your clients. And I do conduct some of these demos for our licensees, and I can tell you 100% of the time that I've done these demos for our licensees, I've not had one doctor go, oh, I've seen something that looks like that. Every time I've seen a doctor go, wow, I really like that. It is different. I can see the difference. And so, folks, we try to move it from you not being a salesperson for a piece of software. We're really geared towards helping you get that client for your business, again, to increase the doctor's revenue. And so, again, we want you to take advantage of, as being a licensee, this part of your business. And so you want to jump in here and get this up. Now, if you want to experience a little bit of this, all of us here at ABS can arrange a time where we can do one for you, but even before you become a licensee. We'll do a demo for you and kind of go through the same motions as if we had your doctor on there. So if you want to experience that a little bit, ask us. We'll be more than happy to show that to you.
Eric, we got a lot more to cover. I guess we're long-winded. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's 3:52 already.
I see that. Well, we're going to jump right in here about once you've got the doctor, and let's say that we just got through with that demo, and all of a sudden we've got you need help with proposals and pricing, and we do that. Again, we step you through it. That's all based upon what Adam mentioned earlier about the practice analysis. That all gets built upon that. And so, folks, that's what we do. Then, if you want to go out even further and venture out a little bit further, we show you and teach you how to do trade shows, how to do expos. There are a lot of benefits of doing trade shows and doing all of these different types of places in your particular area. And that's the best way to do them, trade shows, or trade shows that are actually in your area. And so, Adam, you had some design and help in putting this portion of it together. You want to talk a little bit about how, as a licensee, they can request to use this portion of the business here?
Yes, we actually have a couple of different designs. We've got a large trade show booth that you see there that has a podium and everything with it. And then there's a smaller tabletop version of that we've designed, and you can borrow these from us and take it to any trade show you like. There's a picture right there of a gentleman here who's from the Dallas area, who is a licensee, and he brought his sign with his company name and had our booth, our trade show booth behind in the back there. And of course, our trade show marketing graphics don't have anything to do, it doesn't have ABS on there anywhere. It's just a generic graphics that are based on showing people the need to really take a look at their revenue cycle as a whole, and not just the billing, but take a look at every aspect of their revenue cycle. You there, Eric?
Yep. I put myself on mute there just for a second. We were talking about the practice analysis here, and I was trying to segue in there. I was already talking and didn't realize I was on mute there. But we show you and teach you how to do the practice analysis both in class and then after class. This is a key element of what you're going to want to be able to do, of getting that, again, that demo, as Adam said, and then we actually use this to help you with your proposal. And this is where, you know, instead of selling the doctor on why you're so great, we actually show the doctor where they are currently and where they could be with you. And this is where numbers don't lie. Right now, we are holding to what's called a very steady level at a rejection rate being less than 2%. Well, again, what does that mean to you? You might be brand new to one of our webinars. What does that mean, having a rejection rate at less than 2%? That means that every claim that gets filed, there is a percentage of those that get rejected right off the top of the bat because there are errors that go along with those claims. The national average right now is about 35%. So you can imagine anywhere from 30 to 35%, the first portions of doctors actually doing their claims, whether it's in their office or outsourced, there's a high percentage of those claims that are never get processed. And at least with ours, we have a less than a 2%. So we actually use those numbers to do a comparison of what they're currently doing and what they could be doing basically with us. So this is why we really stress heavily up on this practice analysis. Now, I'm going to get down to some of these last few slides here, and very specifically, and this is one of those areas that Adam and I were talking about here even before the webinar, is once we've got you through the live training, then what? So, Adam, we kind of got some slides here that I want to kind of wrap up here today with. You want to talk about the DVDs that they get at the end of training?
Sure. So at the end of the class on Friday, we hand you a session that was recorded on DVD. Not your session, but we did one a few months back on DVD. It's 12 DVDs, and they're all sectioned out so that you can go back, and anytime you need a refresher on a certain marketing method or a certain service, you can go back and review that on DVD.
Excellent. And then what we have are these ongoing webinars, or these trainings that, like today, you could almost consider you being on the webinar today as a potential ABS licensee. We're educating you, but on an ongoing basis. We have ongoing webinars for our licensees only that are only opened up to our licensees, and we'll talk everything about how to build your business profitably, how to get more clients, any of the new things that are coming out, like what Adam and I mentioned earlier about us being one of the top 5% of all the companies that has an EMR system that's going to be past 2014. Those are some of the things that we cover on a regular, sometimes weekly basis. We've been actually having one of our licensees, Renee Hermes, actually been doing some of those webinars for us. So sometimes we're teaching them, and again, Patrick likes to use licensees that are actually out there on the ground, so to say, on the front lines, teaching a lot of this. And then we have lifetime of support, and that's by several different means, by phone, email, live chat. We can do private web design for you. I mean, actually a private session, basically, a go-to meeting with you. And we have the forum. And Adam, you want to talk a little bit about the forum and even about the licensee support site right here that I'm showing?
Yeah, that looks like our main website, but that's actually our private licensee support site that you'll get a login to when you become a licensee, and it's basically your point of entry for all of our ongoing educational material and support material that we have for you once you've gone through the live class. Because a lot of people ask me, well, what happens after we get done with the live class? I mean, are we just on our own or what? Absolutely not. That list of training webinars that you had a couple of slides ago, that is so valuable, guys, because any type of new marketing method that we come up with, any new service that we learn about, that we bring on board, that's where you're going to hear about it in our ongoing webinars, and you're going to find out about those webinars by continuing to go to our private support website. And so we've got that, and then the other thing that we've got is our licensee forum, and this is actually a place where you can go and communicate with licensees from all over the country. So if you have any kind of issue or question of how do I do this, how do I do this, you can find out that you'll get people, from all over the country saying, well, this worked for me, and well, that didn't work for me, but this worked for me. And it's just neat because you really feel like you're a part of our network of licensees, and you don't feel like you're out there alone struggling.
Well, let's talk about, again, how we're helping you as a potential ABS licensee. And we want to talk about next week's webinar. Now, again, we have these live webinars every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central. That would be 4 p.m. Eastern, and then 1 o'clock there on the Pacific Coast. Our next one is called The Real Profit Potential of a Successful Medical Billing Business. And up here on the screen, we've got the link to that. And let me see if I can grab
Eric,
that.
I just pasted it.
Okay, good. Thanks, Adam. If you'll look down in your chat area on the right-hand side of your control panel, Adam's already pasted that there. So if you want to go ahead and get registered for the next webinar, go ahead and click that. We'd love to have you. Now, that will be next Wednesday, which would be July the 3rd. Go ahead and jump on there, get ready, and get ready for that next webinar. If you're so looking to become an ABS licensee and you want to know when the next class is, well, the next class is in August, August the 5th through the 9th. It's already hard to imagine that we've already gone through half a year this year of 2013, and we're already starting on our downside of this year. And we only have, I think, with August, September, October, and I think 4 or 5 more trainings for this year, because we actually do these every 6 weeks. So again, if you're looking to become an ABS licensee and you want to get into this next training class, and we already have some seats filled for this next training class coming up in August, get with us. Call us at 866-565-8413, and then get all your paperwork turned in and get part of the business. Now, Adam, I'm going to kind of leave this with you here and talk about the money-back guarantee that your dad has as part of becoming a licensee here at American Business Systems.
Yeah, let's just wrap this webinar up by saying this is how much we believe in our live training workshop. And I don't know of any other franchise-type company that does this. We allow you to come to our training in Dallas and sit through the whole class and learn everything there is to learn about our services, how they're marketed, what kind of money can be made on each one of them. And if at the end of the class, if there's anything that doesn't make sense to you and you just don't feel like this business will work for you and your goals, you can ask for your money back, and we will give you 100% of your money back, and we'll part as friends. And that's in writing in our agreement.
Yeah, so if you want to take a look at that, go over to our virtual brochure, get through all of those sections there, as Adam had mentioned, and get to those final stages. You can download the purchase agreement, which is our contract between you and American Business Systems, and that section is there on the in the section of our contract with you. So, again, we've got this screen up here talking about our next training dates in August. Again, our phone number. Adam, it was a pleasure doing this with you. Normally, either you're doing it with your dad or I'm doing it with your dad, and I guess he says, "Okay, guys, take off the training wheels. You got it today." So it was a pleasure doing this with you today.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, Eric. And real quick, Andre, to answer your question, yes, we do talk in training about how to hire people to grow your business. If you want more detail on that, just give us a call.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. We look forward to having you on one of our other upcoming webinars, or more importantly, being at one of our next live training workshops. So, again, thanks, Adam. Everybody have a great afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eric.
Sure, thanks. Bye-bye.